The undeniable truth that men are suffering within modern dating. Now let's get into today's video because I have some things I want to say when it comes to the underlying issue a lot of men are facing when it comes to interacting with women and how this is affecting our men on a deeper level than a lot of people realize, particularly women. So we're going to get into it today, but before we do, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot. And let's continue this conversation because if you clicked on today's video, you are either curious about what you think I'm going to say, or you can relate to the title. There are some unspoken challenges that men are facing alone, and I want to highlight them in today's video, just out of my own observation. So the number one challenge I see men facing is the death of masculinity. Now, before you start thinking I'm talking about some outdated alpha male narrative, masculine energy is not about being tough all the time or having it figured out and being this ultra stoic man 24/7 around the clock. Because realistically, that is unrealistic for any human being to keep up with. But what I am talking about is what actually comes inherently to our men. It's instinctive, it's intuitive, but we're making men feel wrong for it. And what is that? It's about a man's confidence, his direction, his leadership, his capabilities, and his purpose here on earth. But the problem is, in our culture today, we aren't allowing men to be brought up in a world that congratulates them for being determined, for being assertive, and for owning who they are. It's either a man is overly masculine or he's not being masculine enough. You know, it is confusing. It's confusing times. There's so many videos about masculinity, femininity, and I guess I'm making another one. We are living in a world that is profiting not only off of a man's weakness, but also of a woman's power. The more that women are in power, the more that men feel a lack of purpose, for their role has been demolished by women doing everything themselves and not needing men anymore. And for a lot of people, that is the truth. Women do have a lot more resources now than ever, and they can take charge of their life, and they don't need a man to depend on anymore because they can make it happen themselves. And that is great. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. However, for us women, we need to make room for men in our lives. If we're so attached to this idea of being a boss babe and don't needing no man and I can do it all myself and all this, what is that producing in that woman's life? She's feeling a lack of purpose out of no one stepping up for her. And for the men who want to step up, he's ridiculed for it. There is an out of balance within both men and women today. We are seeing in real time how it's affecting this society. And now men are almost being programmed to identify more so to their emotions. And when a man is over-identified to his emotions, it becomes suffocating for that man. For that man should not be over-identified to his emotions. He should understand his emotions, and his emotional states can further equip him to his success by understanding self-awareness over himself. And while emotional intelligence is a highly attractive quality within men, his ability to move through emotions is almost like a wrong thing. And the men today who are working through their emotions and are getting up out of bed every day and trying their best, those are the types of men that go unnoticed. They're the ones doing it themselves without any recognition. And a man needs recognition at some point in his life. So if you're a man today and you're resonating so far, make sure that you're doing things that you would be proud of behind closed doors when no one is watching. Because there's a lot of hypocrites in our society today. They talk about one thing, but they're doing the very actions they're judging. So be real with yourself. Step up when necessary. A man who has to endure a lot of disrespect is a man who is going to be angry. Is a man who is going to experience some sort of internal rage. And I think there's a lot of unhappy men today. My question for the men today, are you proud of the man you are? And if the answer is no, you're better off being single right now. You're better off working on your goals and creating momentum towards your success so you can actually be confident in your next relationship, knowing that you have ground to walk on. Not only stability for yourself in your own life, but for a future relationship. Stability is really important to women because safety is everything for that woman. So a man who understands masculine principles of committing yourself to your word, showing yourself respect within your own actions, your self-talk, your behaviors, and learning from your past challenges and all the challenges you have had to endure. For there is a lesson beneath everything that triggers us because it's leading us back into our wholeness. I want to talk about your guys' distractions. For a man, there are so many distractions out there, especially the distractions that are made to distract men. What do I mean by this? Women participating in being over-sexual and feeling empowered by it. And while a woman is empowered by her sexuality, the exchange of that is a man being in a prolonged state of weakness. For if every time he opens his phone, there's ass and titties and, women on his screen, that is a man's greatest weakness. And we know this, but we don't do anything about it. But you as men can do everything about it by blocking that sort of content, by not condoning it in your life. Because if you truthfully want a partner does not want to see your man's phone full of half-naked women. It's not normal. And it's not respectful to you as a man, as well as your future partner. So clear out the garbage, clear out the noise, especially if you understand how toxic this is, but you're still participating in it anyways. And that could look like following a bunch of Instagram baddies or over-consuming porn. You're a part of the problem. So by breaking that cycle, you're putting an end to the momentum. Both men and women are to blame when it comes to distractions. We're distracting each other and we're distracting ourselves. So if you are participating with something that is not healthy and you know it, and you need to check yourself right now and delete the garbage off of your phone and start showing up in a purposeful way. And that could look different day to day, but you know what you are avoiding, and what you're avoiding needs you. So start showing up in that way and stop showing up for unnecessary things, because where has that gotten you this far? The final undeniable reason is the shift in gender dynamics. And I briefly touched on this in the beginning of my video today, but to conclude on this point is very essential. For decades, we've seen women fighting for their rights and their freedom, which is a very healthy thing that women should have and do have. But that shift has made it very confusing for men to know their role, especially in a woman's life. It's easy for men to feel like they're just walking on eggshells around women, because women are no longer waiting around for men to show up and stand out. They're doing it themselves, and they're taking charge in their own life. And there is a lot more equality in this day and age, and I think that's a great, great thing. It has left men in a state of not knowing what to do with women. If they're opening doors for a woman, or they're assisting women in certain things, or asking women if they need help, they're looked at as being toxic or suppressed within their image of what women are needing. And we're making it very clear that women don't need a man's help, but we do. Women need men, men need women, point blank, period. That's what makes this world go round. That's procreation. So instead of avoiding these simple truths, start living a life of complete certainty of what you are wanting in dating, in life, in yourself, and don't allow the society to break you. And if it has broke you, say thank you, for within that breaking, you are able to up level into a new version of yourself. So whatever you're in now, dating-wise, relationship-wise, yourself even, show up in the best ways you can with the information you hold, and keep going, and don't allow this world to keep you isolated, keep you down and distracted. You are powerful, you are purposeful, and I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.